You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is your Locked On Phillies postcast following just a gut punch of a loss to the Atlanta Braves. That was terrible. And I'm gonna cut right to the chase as soon as I just tell you that the fine people, the wonderful people at booking.com, bring you this fine episode. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out booking.com, for your stay today. Before I even get to three big things, I'm gonna preface it by this. Number one, the three things are going to be the ranked contenders, but now I'm going to give you the champion. Okay, so even before number one, I'm going to give you the champion, like the biggest thing of all of this, because I'll get into Ranger Suarez struggles and how, even dating back to last year, July wasn't really a good month for Ranger Suarez, after June was a pretty incredible month for Ranger Suarez. But we'll get to that, and we'll get to the bats being terrible and all that stuff. But here's the number one thing. The champion with the contenders, the champion of what pisses me off the most of this loss, about this loss tonight to the Atlanta Braves, is that you had your best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in baseball, if not the best pitcher in baseball up until recently, Ranger Suarez, on the hill tonight, going up against the Braves, and you laid an egg. Offensively, you laid an egg, getting just one run. Thanks for Trey Turner for that. Defensively, Ranger Suarez was bad again. First time in his career he's gone back-to-back starts, allowing more than 5 runs, 5 or more runs in those starts. So that's pretty terrible. And then there's this. You left it up now to Michael Mercado to save the series for you. The Phillies have now left this. You call it what you will. You call it it doesn't really matter. 9-game lead on the Braves now. It doesn't matter. Oh, they don't have Bryce Harper. All the excuses. And I'm not one for excuses. I'm one for this is a logical explanation for why things are happening. No, there's no excuses when you got Ranger Suarez on the hill and you still have a lineup like this, even without Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, the MVP and Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto, because they're missing guys too. Of all the teams to not roll out excuses like that, the Braves are the last team to roll out excuses like that. Because they're missing Spencer Strider. You obviously know that they're missing an MVP and Ronald Acuna Jr. as well. So for me, you can't really roll that out against the Braves of all teams. You got to go down there to Atlanta and you got to beat the Braves, especially when earlier in the season the Braves beat you 2 out of 3. So now, since you've gone on to be the best team in baseball, best record in baseball at least, you can't go down to Atlanta and drop 2 of 3. So now, after Ranger Suarez wet the bed today, and after this lineup wet the bed throughout the ball game, unfortunately, you got to rely on Michael Mercado, who's making his second big league start. But, at least he's going up against, just a god-awful pitcher, all right? Nope, Ronaldo Lopez, that's who you're facing against. That's who you're going up against tomorrow. Cool. So now you got to go up against the guy that has been the guy who is pitching like Ranger Suarez used to pitch. Remember those good old days, like 3 starts ago when Ranger Suarez was absolutely unhittable? So now the champion, the biggest thing of really now 4 things that I'm going to be talking about, 4 big things, is that now this series relies on Michael Mercado going up against Ronaldo Lopez. And hold on, checks notes, his 1.15 ERA and his 6-2 record on the season. And he goes up against Michael Mercado, who, look, 5 innings, amazing. His first big league start. 2 hits, 1 run, amazing. In his first big league start. He's got 6 innings under his belt as a big league pitcher, and he only has to go up against the best pitcher in baseball, at least right now, Ronaldo Lopez. This is just going to be good, great, grand, wonderful. So everything that we could talk about tonight, everything that we're going to be upset about, everything we're going to be pissed off about tonight, just know that all of it means you're now relying on Michael Mercado to get you a series win against this Atlanta Braves. And for the people that were all about who have they beaten, type of crowd, for those fun people, right? They were already sticking their chest out enough when they faced a Red Sox team just as they started to get hot. They're already sticking out their chest, like popping the buttons on their shirts, of course, when the Phillies lost 2 or 3 to the Orioles, and the Orioles certainly took it to them in that series. And now you're going to go and you're going to drop 2 or 3 to the Atlanta Braves. Oh, and this is before you host the Dodgers for 3 games in South Philly. Yeah, wonderful. This is going to be so much fun. Are you having fun? I'm having a blast. This is great. So let's get into it now with our official 3 big things. Number 1, Ranger Suarez. What the hell is going on? Now, I referenced, if you need any type of saving grace, if you need anything to like make you feel a little bit better, I referenced numbers that he put up last year in the month of July. Now, in June, he was incredible in June. In June last year, all 5 of his starts in the month of June, he did not allow more than a run. He did not allow more than a run, and he went at least 6 innings in all of those 5 starts, all throughout June last year. July, not great. Pretty terrible, as a matter of fact. 5 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 4 runs. That was his month of July. All those, by the way, earned, unfortunately. So, actually, excuse me, if you go to earned, if you go to just run scored, it's 5, 4, 3, 4, 4. So that was the month of July last year for Ranger Suarez. So maybe there's something in the air for him in the month of July that just has him hitting a bit of a wall, especially after having a great first month of the season that he was really back. Because remember, he started out the season late last year in mid-May because he was coming back from an injury. Didn't really have his bearings under him until 3 starts he got into it. Then he was able to actually put 6 consecutive starts together where he looked fantastic. Now, he went through July and was pretty terrible, and then he went into August and actually pitched really well and pitched really well for the rest of the season. That's the Ranger Suarez we're hoping to see again real soon, because the guy we've seen as of late has not been impressive. And I know you could go back to his last couple of starts where he allowed 4 runs against the Tigers. He allowed 2 of them were earned. Then he allowed 6 runs, all of them earned against the Marlins in a game that just blew up in his face. Now, the start against the Tigers, if you remember, in Detroit, 2 earned runs were surrendered in that one. 4 runs scored. Trey Turner had a pretty bad error. I believe let the bases get loaded there in Detroit for Ranger, and he ended up getting taken for a couple of runs in that inning, but only 2 of those runs were earned in Detroit. But after that, after Miami, goodness gracious, he was terrible. 10 hits. Now, my big concern going into this start, I told you guys about the runs. The runs are obviously a concern. But the bigger thing to me was 18 hits in 2 starts against Ranger Suarez. 18 hits. Then you see him go into tonight's ball game, and you think, all right, it was a big game. Be a big game pitcher, Ranger. Go out there and handle your business. He gave up 6 hits. You could get away with 6 hits. But now when you're giving up the long ball like he did tonight, 2 of them, for instance. Now, the first home run Ranger Suarez, to look at just tonight's ball game, the first home run that Ranger Suarez gave up tonight, that was not a terrible pitch. Or excuse me, not a good pitch to hit. It was low in the zone to Ozzie Albies there in the first inning. Or excuse me, to Marcell Ozuna in the first inning. They were already down 1-0. He gave him a curveball that I guess he was trying to bounce and just try to capitalize on Ozuna's over aggressiveness at the plate, and he didn't. Ozuna waited on it, and that ball, I hate to even call it a hanging curveball, because if Ozuna doesn't hit it where he hits it, that ball's definitely in the dirt. Ozuna gets in front of it, waits on it just enough, and punishes that baseball 414 feet to center field on the first pitch that he saw. Low in the zone, horrible pitch to hit, but he went down and he got the ball carrying out of the ballpark. I know that Trey Turner had that deep fly ball in the top of the first inning to center field that just kept carrying. Unfortunately, not enough, but in the first inning of tonight's game, you just saw Ranger Suarez. It looked like he was going to get hit by this Atlanta Braves team. No better example than the Ozuna home run, the 2-run home run that made it a 3-0 game. Before that, Ozzie Albies stepped up there and got an RBI single. That was a leadoff double by Kelenic, a ground rule double down the right field line on a 2-2 sinker. And then Albies stepped up there and got the RBI single, 1-0. Then he gets Riley to strike out. He gets Olsen to strike out, both looking fastball against Ranger Suarez. He's able to dust the corner with those, and then Ozuna steps up for the kill shot. Just when you would think that Ranger Suarez is going to get out of it, okay, 1 run of damage, all right, you can bounce back. But then a kill shot comes up there, at least in the inning, from Ozuna, and then he gets Murphy to fly out to left field. And then the Phillies really couldn't get anything going for him. The only run they were able to muster was Trey Turner's RBI single in the 3rd inning. They made it a 3-1 ball game. And then 5th inning, actually, even before the 5th inning, this was concerning to me. And I know his pitch count by his standard was pretty ridiculous. By Ranger Suarez standard was pretty ridiculous. But go into the fifth inning. Kelenic starts it off again, with this time with a single to right center field. Ozzie Albies steps up there, and he gets the 2-run home run. Or excuse me, I'm in the wrong inning. I apologize. Fourth inning, he walks Olsen. So let's go to the fourth inning here. He walks Olsen on 5 pitches. Ozuna then steps up and gets the double to center field. They try. Rojas made a good throw. They tried to challenge, or they did challenge it, and unfortunately, Ozuna held the bag, they said. So now you have a runner on second and third with no outs, and you're already trailing at this point in the game 3-0. So you have runner on second and third, nobody out. Murphy steps up there, goes on a full count, strikes him out of an inside sinker looking. So you get the first out. Duvall steps up there. He works a full count as well. Gets him to strike out on a curveball. Now all of a sudden you got some hope. You got 2 outs with the still runner on second and third. 2 outs. Arcia steps up. They just intentionally walk him. No problem. They don't even bat an eye, and they just let him go to the bases. White steps up there, and he pops in Trey Turner in shallow left field for the third and final out of the game, or third final out of the fourth inning. 2 pitches into that at bat. All right, so we got out of it. At one point in that fourth inning, Adam Wainwright on the broadcast, and I don't like how much I've been hearing these non-home broadcasters recently, but man, they are really starting to get on my nerves. So sure enough, what ends up happening tonight is you see, it was awful. Adam Wainwright said, why are you intentionally walking him when you have a pitcher who's cruising? A pitcher who's cruising. A pitcher who's cruising. I wouldn't call a 5-pitch walk to Matt Olson cruising. I wouldn't call a double by Marcell Ozuna cruising. I wouldn't call back-to-back. Well, actually, Ozuna was a full count. Murphy was a full count. Duvall was a full count. Obviously, an intentional walk away. But I'm not going to call that cruising in any inning there for Ranger Suarez, unfortunately. So I don't know what the hell Adam Wainwright was talking about. Now, if you're looking to hire a pitching coach tomorrow, hire Adam Wainwright. Don't hire me, okay? But that just rubbed me the wrong way because Ranger just didn't have his stuff tonight. And he hasn't had it really for his last 3 starts, unfortunately. They also referenced the London game. They're making his first start since he got the liner off his hand. He pitched well in London. He pitched well after that. I don't even think about him getting the liner off his hand again. I think it was in the Rockies series. He got the line drive off his hand. I no issue whatsoever. And then in the 5th inning, of course, Kelenic leads off with the single. Albies gets the 2-run home run to left field on a 1-1 cutter that he put 431 feet into the left field stands. 5-1 game, and that's, as we know, the way it would end. If I had to pinpoint anything with Ranger, it's all about location. I mean, I referenced the first home run that he gave up. He left it up just a little bit. I think his intention was to really bury that and see if he just get Ozuna to swing over top of it. If he's able to get that down just a little bit more, that's exactly what happens. And Ozuna just blasted it. Hung up just enough. Anybody else hangs that curveball, that ball's probably traveled 500 feet, not just 414. Then he was able to dust the corners in other innings where it just seemed like it was fleeting, but any little mistake he made, as little as leaving that curveball up just enough against Marcell Ozuna or against Ozzie Albies there with the sinker that I think he left flat as well, just a little bit of a mistake, and he's going to tattoo it. And that's what happened for both home runs. The times that he did miss his spots, he would have innings where he was great and was able to do it. But then he'd have innings where he couldn't locate, and that's when the Braves really started to jump on him. So I don't know if it's just a July curse upon Ranger Suarez in this month, or if it's just somebody that is starting to lose it a little bit. What we have seen over his last couple of starts, I still don't think that's the Ranger Suarez that we're going to see for the rest of the season. I refuse to believe that he has hit some kind of wall and now will be a guy that goes and allows 5 runs every single start. I don't think that'll be the guy. And I referenced July, not just to talk about, some fictitious curse or talk about it tongue-in-cheek, but after that, in the month of August, in the month of September, you saw him start to right the ship. So I love seeing that. Throwing a Rafael Marchand. Side note to that, by the way, Garrett Stubbs, JT Realmuto supposed to come back after the All-Star break. Are they just trying to give Rafael Marchand as much of a look as possible? Get into that a little bit more later. So Ranger Suarez, just one of those nights where he just obviously did not look like a guy who had his best stuff. Number 2 on this list, the bats, man. The bats were just god-awful tonight. No extra base hits. No extra base hits with 7 hits in the game tonight. Trey Turner got you your only run across the plate. He drives in another run for himself. That's great. Good for him. Love to see it. But Alec Bohm on a night like tonight goes 0 for 4. Like, if anything, if you're gonna get anybody to get you an extra base hit, obviously it's gonna be Alec Bohm. He couldn't even get you a hit tonight, unfortunately. Then you look at the rest of this lineup tonight. Kody Clemens tried to get something going for this team in the early goings of the ball game and just couldn't get it going. Could not get on his high horse, unfortunately, in that second inning. And that's one, really, that started a bit of a trend that I'm going to highlight as number 3 here. But number 1, in that second inning, Brandon Marsh led things off there with a single. Castellanos lined out to left. Then Kody Clemens steps up there and he gets a double to right field. A hustle double. Upon further review, because if any manager is going to challenge something in the first inning, you know they're right. That told me as soon as they were going to challenge it that he was out, that he slid off the bag, or even the throw beat him, because the throw did beat him, but the tag wasn't applied until Kody Clemens slid on the bag, then slid over the bag, and then got tagged out. But okay, so first thing is if they're going to challenge in the first inning, you know they're going to be right. The second thing is Kody Clemens knows if they're challenging in the first inning, they're going to be right. So Kody Clemens watched the replays from the third base bag because he knew he was going to be out. Sure enough, when they actually showed the replay, he was very much out, and they made a huge mistake. And I think that later led to the Phillies challenging that Marcell Ozuna double in the 4th inning, where they were just trying to shoot up a flare there for Ranger Suarez. But in that second inning, Kody Clemens tried to get the Phillies what would have been, I guess, their only double of the game, and he ended up being thrown out. After that, Rafael Marchand stepped up there, and he flew out to left field, and that ended any threat despite a runner being on third base with 1 out. Phillies then, after that, really couldn't get anything else going offensively. You got the RBI single by Trey Turner in the 3rd inning. 4th inning, you got a single from Rafael Marchand with 2 outs. Then David Dahl struck out on a splitter. That was an 11-pitch inning by Schwellenbach, who just kept the bats quiet pretty much all night. I know that's one thing Adam Wainwright did say that I agree with. If you're going to go 7 hits and they're all singles, it ain't that big deal. And that's exactly that went down tonight. Phillies went down again 1-2-3 in the 5th inning, unfortunately. 6th inning, same type of thing, except this is perfect. This will bring me to number 3. So the Phillies bats just being terrible. Also, number 3 on this list, the Braves defense. Okay. Last night, if the Braves don't commit 3 errors in the 7th inning and allow the Phillies to pad the stats a little bit there, to give a little bit more of a cushion, and Jose Alvarado comes in and blows things up again in the 8th inning, the Phillies probably lose last night's game too. Tonight, it wasn't the case. The 2nd inning, I referenced this already, but Nick Castellanos, when he flew out to left field after the leadoff single by Brandon Marsh, you had White in left field make a great sliding grab, so that prevented 2 on and nobody out. Then Kody Clemens, it was a perfect throw still, and Kody Clemens gets thrown out at second base essentially, even though he slid off the bag. It was still a perfect throw. Then later in the ball game, Brandon Marsh steps up to the plate. Riley makes a great play in the 6th inning to be sure to get Brandon Marsh out, and then Minter later in the ball game in the 7th inning got that ball hit off his glove off the bat of Whit Merrifield. Minter then made, he turned into, I don't know who. He made one spectacular play off the mound to be able to throw out Whit Merrifield, who was busting it down the line as he was pinch hitting for David Dahl. But that was just a situation there where the Braves just capitalized defensively speaking and helped out their pitcher every single time they could possibly help out their pitcher. Last night's 7th inning, it wasn't the case. Tonight, throughout the ball game, it was the case. You had just dominant stuff by Schwellenbach on the mound, just keeping the Phillies bats at bay throughout the game. In total, what it ended up being from 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 81 pitches through 6 innings of work. For a guy that entering the ball game today had an ERA of 5.60, I think it was, gets that ERA down now to 5.02. Good times for Spencer Schwellenbach. Have at it tomorrow there, Michael Mercado. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. When we come back, we'll take a look at what you guys are saying about this game. Hope Hope you guys are feeling okay after just a terrible, terrible loss to the Braves and only having to face Ronaldo Lopez tomorrow, Michael Mercado. Did I say that? Yeah, I think I said that already. When we come back, we'll break that down. We'll take your guys' comments coming up in a second. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Keep it right here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Back in a second. Booking.com. Yeah. This episode of Locked On Phillies Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially with travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. And yes, I'm talking about those rival cities, Atlanta being one of them. I've used Booking.com to book a trip to Atlanta, also Chicago, also New York, also Boston, also Denver. It's always a good time. Booking.com. You can have confidence in them that you're getting just a great experience. From hotels that look over stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this baseball season. That's right. The stay that you have right there, oh, man, it's fantastic. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city. Even your rivals. Book today. Booking.com on the site or on the Booking.com app. Booking.com, a booking. Yeah. eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up. Peak performance, superchargers, roof racks, exhaust, or style, or power, or all of the above. eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available for U.S. customers. ebaymotors.com. So let me tell you about this unfortunate situation here with your Phillies and where they're headed. Remember that Marlins series that they split? And we talked about, stacking wins and how great that is. Okay, so they won 2 or 3 in Chicago, right? Now they're in danger of dropping 2 or 3 to the Braves. And then they have the Dodgers coming to town. And Will Smith, who's hit, 4 home runs now in his last 2 games? So he's swinging a hot bat. Oh, and that Shohei Ohtani guy is pretty good at baseball too. But anyway, yeah. So don't you lose 2 or 3 to the Braves? How about that for an idea? And I know the good injury news that we did get was that Kyle Schwarber looks like he's going to be back Tuesday, so he'll be back for that Dodgers series. And then Bryce Harper will be back later in the week. And then right after the All-Star break, hopefully, fingers crossed, JT Realmuto comes back. So I was referencing the catchers here, right? And Aaron Nola was caught by Rafael Marchand in the first game of the series last night, right? He wasn't caught by Garrett Stubbs, who had been doing a pretty damn good job for Aaron Nola. I don't know if this is showcasing Rafael Marchand. I don't know if this is just giving him as much experience as he can before they send him back down because he has the option left, and obviously Garrett Stubbs does not. I don't know how they're handling this or why they're handling it in the way that they are. If they're just wanting somebody in the lineup, Marchand got a hit. Stubbs has been hitting well. Both of them over the last, month, whatever it's been since JT Realmuto has been down, both these guys have been doing one hell of a job in the batter's box. So I don't know what the philosophy here is, but what this could boil down to is an argument between the vibes guy and the production guy, or it's an argument between keeping the young prospect and still grooming him under JT Realmuto, and that's Rafael Marchand. And knowing that when playoffs come, you're not going to be supposedly needing a backup catcher anyway, because JT's not missing the game. It's not happening. I don't know what their play is here. The baseball 101 play is, obviously Marchand's a better player. They want to give him more playing time. Stubbs going to get cut when JT gets back, and that's that. But the guy that that does believe, and I do believe in vibes, is how much Garrett Stubbs does mean to that clubhouse. Now, that might sound like high school Harry BS to some people, but it seems to matter to this clubhouse, and we're going to get a taste of how much that really does matter if the Phillies do draw that line in the sand and say, well, Rafael Marchand's got the more promising future for this ball club. He's got the more promising future to help them as a bat off the bench. The hell with vibes. We're going with the production. And you really can't fault him much for doing it, but if you're a vibes guy, it's going to be a big argument. And if the Phillies do have a decision to make, and I've heard people talking about this over the last couple of days, and it intensify a little bit more with Garrett Stubbs not playing as much, especially in games where you expect him to play. It could be a sign that they still are just getting Marchand the experience they can now before the All-Star break, before sending him down, because he still has that option. And then after that, if Stubbs goes back to struggling the way he did before this last month of the season, it could just be a very simple thing. If they want to make another addition, Stubbs is gone, Marchand comes back up, and you have him for the foreseeable future on the big league roster. Let's see what you guys want to say about this game. Just a terrible loss here to the Braves, setting up another tough game tomorrow. Ranger hasn't had it since he got hit. Okay, all right. So the game he got hit by the baseball. I talked about this thing. So he loses tonight. He's 10-3 now in the season. That sucks. Womp womp. Okay. Okay. 3 starts since getting hit in the hand. 3 starts since getting hit in the hand. Pitched in London against the Mets, 5 2/3, 2 runs. Pitched against the Baltimore Orioles, 6 2/3, 1 run. Pitched against the San Diego Padres, 6 innings, 1 run. It was a homer. And then, so that's 3 starts. Then Detroit, Miami tonight. Terrible. Detroit, not as much his fault, but still not great. Miami, god awful tonight. What the hell is he doing? That kind of thing. So I refuse to believe the hand is the issue, Crazy. I understand people think it. I'm not with it there. IBH, what's going on? Phooey. I guess bats got worn out last night. I guess so. John Marinelli, have mercy on the fans and just end this. John was hitting us up during the game. Sean Kilrain. What's up, Sean Kilrain? How you doing, bud? Brian, the 2 biggest differences between the Phillies and the Braves tonight. Braves needed this win 10 times more than the Phillies did. Okay. Go with the I want it more scenario. It's the first time Ranger Suarez's career has allowed 5+ runs in consecutive appearances. Yeah, that's not great. Adam, what's going on? Suarez has not been pitching good since the other pitcher Sanchez got his contract. Go Sixers. Your lack of faith is your undoing for us. I still have faith this team's going to go to the World Series. But after a 5-1 loss to the Braves, where you have Ranger Suarez back on the mound thinking this, you're gonna take the first 2 and then take the pressure off Michael Mercado for game 3. I can highlight the fact that there's no reason to be optimistic right now, for crying out loud. Oh yeah, Spurgeon King, thank you. 1-4 against a rookie pitcher, usually the most winnable game of this series, squandered. Ranger is in danger. I see what you did there, Christopher. Thank you. Timothy B. Suarez hasn't been the same since he got hit by that. Come on! Against the Orioles? He went against the Orioles, folks. And I know they just got shelled today. What was the final of that game? 19-8. Good Lord. But still 8 runs. Ranger Suarez dominated the Orioles through 6 2/3 after he got hit in the hand. I refuse to believe the hit in the hand. Excuses. Spurgeon King, the bats were super passive. Oh, one thing I will say, Trey Turner in the 8th inning, was it? Yeah, 8th inning against Jimenez. He walks Stott. Turner comes up, tries to jump. He wanted a first pitch fastball. He got a first pitch fastball. He missed a first pitch fastball by about an eyelash and flew out to left field. Even then, it would have, even if he did get it, it would have only been a 5-3 game. But still, it would have been some life, unlike I saw through the majority of the game tonight. Babs, what's going on? Hope you had a rocket 4th of July. Thank you. So don't stress over tonight, please. I'm not going to stress. I'll sleep soundly. Probably because of the cigar I had while I was watching the game. Yeah, I watched the game outside with some family. That was nice. Enjoyed a cigar outside. It was beautiful. The cigar was great. The Phillies were terrible. I can see Seiya Suzuki is a name to keep an eye on. All right. Deadline draws closer. I still want Bellinger. Oh, my God. I'd love to have Bellinger. I'd love to have Ian Happ. Would you pull this trade? I mean, I do like Suzuki. I would rather have Happ. I'd rather have Bellinger. To answer your question, Sean, thank you. Spurgeon King, yeah, good luck, Mercado. It's looking like the Braves are going to chase the Phillies out of Georgia, like the high school kids from Bork. Spurgeon King, phenomenal pull. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody in the chat. When we come back, we'll set up tomorrow night's game a little bit more than we already have. Back in a second, you're Locked On Phillies postcast. Tax Network USA here on Locked On Sports Postcast, Locked On Sports Philadelphia. We pride ourselves on getting you the latest news with your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round, but you know what else is year-round? Oh, collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professional and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. I've told you guys before, I got a lot of different paychecks from a lot of different bosses over the years. Gave those taxes to somebody I trusted to do the taxes. Should not have trusted them as much. Next thing I know, I got a letter in the mail a couple of months later. Hey, by the way, give me my money, said Uncle Sam. I said, hey, easy there, Uncle Sam. And I called Tax Network USA, and they helped me out because of their 14 years of experience and A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help filing correctly, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked on, and be sure to mention Locked On Phillies Postcast at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount on their services. That's Tax Network USA. Speaking of saving some money, how about Ibotta? Sandals, sunscreen, snacks for the kids. What do these have in common? You're probably buying a ton again this summer, but don't stress about the cost. Use Ibotta and get the cash back. How about that? Get cash back on all your purchases when you stock up on your summer essentials. Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Earn hundreds on items, whether it comes to groceries, to beauty supplies, even toys, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter where you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, maybe that flight you've been eyeing, or maybe even a fancy dinner that you've been craving. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much, but not with Ibotta. They get you points they get you money that could go into your bank account, PayPal, gift cards, whatever the case might be. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners and our viewers $5 for just trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. So when you register on Ibotta, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Ibotta, IBOTTA, in the Google Play Store or in the App Store, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Just go to the App Store, Google Play Store, download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. So I don't know if I told you this already during the show. Michael Mercado gets the start for the Phillies. He goes up against Ronaldo Lopez. He's really good at baseball. He's 6-2 on the season with a 1.83 ERA. That's the same ERA Ranger Suarez had before he started, sucking at baseball all of a sudden. All right, no, I don't mean that, but it is accurate over his last 3 starts. Ronaldo Lopez comes into it. 1.83 ERA is pretty nice. As a matter of fact, it's so nice. His earned run average, if it qualified, would be the best in baseball. So that's who the Phillies got tomorrow. Michael Mercado, Ronaldo Lopez, 1:35 start time. I will be with you guys for that game right here. So make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia, and we'll break it all down for you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic as per usual. Well, I got a new comment up here. Hold on, new commenter? Okay, hold on. This is going to blow my mind. I got Barbara Carroll, Babs, Farzi Harper is ever going to play outfield again. The move would help a lot if he played in the outfield. No, that's true, it would, but I don't think he's going to do that. And then I got Barbara Shop. What's going on? Or Sharp. Barbara Sharp, excuse me. I got 2 Babs here. What's going on? Okay, hold on. I got 1 Babs. I got 1 Babs, and that's Barbara Carroll, of course. And then I got Barbara. I got Barbara Sharp. I like that. It's a good name. Thank you. Welcome to the chat. Nice to have you. Thanks for listening. Oh, there you go, Sean. A nice little cigar for yourself. Treat yourself. There you go. There you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Be back with you guys tomorrow after hopefully Michael Mercado just pitches a miracle of a game. Mercado miracle. Let's do it. And gets a win against the Braves. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.